One of the biggest mistakes women make during divorce has nothing to do with a house. It starts with believing the house is the decision. Let me explain. Not long ago, a woman sat across from me and said, "Tisha, I really don't care what happens. I just want to keep my house." And I understood exactly why. It was where she'd raised her children, where birthdays had been celebrated, where life still felt familiar while everything else was changing. To her, the house wasn't just real estate. It represented stability, security, everything that she'd worked hard to build. So instead of talking about mortgages, equity, or home values, I asked her one question. What do you want your life to look like 5 years from now? She didn't answer. She just looked at me. Then, almost apologetically, she said, "I hadn't thought that far." And that answer has stayed with me because it wasn't that she didn't care about her future. She was just so focused on saving the house that she hadn't stopped to ask whether the house was helping her build the future she actually wanted. And that's when I realized something. Most women don't make costly real estate mistakes because they lack intelligence. They make them because everyone around them is helping them make a housing decision, when what they really need to make is a life decision. You see, the house is almost never the real decision. The real decision is the future that the house makes possible. Can you comfortably afford that house on one income? If refinancing is required, will you qualify? How much equity will you actually walk away with after paying off the mortgage, closing costs, taxes, and repairs? Will keeping the house give you more freedom, or will it quietly limit the opportunities you're working so hard to create? Those are the questions that deserve your attention, because the divorce decree may decide who gets the house, but it does not determine whether that decision strengthens your financial future. You do. That's why I created Decision Clarity. Not to tell women to keep the house, not to tell women to sell it, but to help them understand the long-term consequences every real estate decision before they become difficult or impossible to undo. After more than 2 decades in real estate and after navigating my own high conflict divorce, I've learned something that changed the way I advise every client. The true cost of many real estate decisions isn't visible when you make them. They only show up years later, and that's why I encourage every single woman to stop asking, "How do I keep the house?" and start asking, "Which decision gives me the strongest foundation for the life I want to build next?" Because the house is the asset. The future is the investment. If you are navigating divorce and trying to decide what to do with your home, don't make one of the biggest financial decisions of your life based on emotion, pressure, or assumptions. Start with clarity. Schedule a decision clarity strategy session, and together we can evaluate your options, uncover the financial consequences you may not see yet, and build a strategy that protects not just your home, but the future you are creating. Because every successful transition begins with one thing: clarity before commitment. It's your girl Tisha, your real estate strategist of choice.